Good afternoon. Obviously, it's always better coming in here on Tuesday after a win, and been in this game long enough that you don't take winning for granted. When you get a win, it's always a good win. It was not the way we envisioned it. Certainly we saw things that we've got to get better, that we've got to have a sense of urgency about getting them better, and that starts with our run defense. We're not particularly happy about where we are, but we're working on it, and that's the approach you got to take. You got to go out every day, try to fix the problems. As I said every week up here, the problem's not effort. Our unit continues to play and work hard, and hopefully we'll continue to get better. With that, I'll start taking questions.
Start in the back with Sam.
John, what has been the your evaluation of Richard Moore, and now that he's getting some more snaps, just how he's handled himself out there?
Well, he's getting, we're to the point to where he can do some things. He's not ready to do everything, but certainly, as I mentioned, 2 weeks ago, we felt coming into fall camp that he would be a guy that could make a good contribution. Unfortunately, you have to deal with injuries, you have to deal with things, you have to deal with him missing a lot of time. But he's a talented young man that certainly can help us. There's no question.
Here in front, Brent, and then we'll go to KO.
There's been such a difference this year with creating turnovers, especially forced fumbles. What do you go about in practice and emphasizing that, the kind of drills you do and emphasizing that with your defenders?
Well, we do turnover circuits, but the biggest thing is stripping the football. In the circuits, you teach technique in terms of how to strip the football. In terms of pulling fingers off the tip of the football, we even go to that much detail. And, the thing about it, and like I said, I've been around some teams, and this team is really buying into the fact that we need to create turnovers. We need to get, and that's the easiest way and the quickest way to get off the field. So you get guys that are buying in, and then all of a sudden it becomes contagious. And you got more and more guys doing those things. Even though you drill it, it doesn't mean they're going to do it, because there's a lot of thought process that goes in when you get ready to play a snap of football. You'd be amazed sometimes, some of the things they got to see before the snap, some of the things they got to see during the snap, and then they're going to run over, are you going to make a tackler, you're going to get him on the ground, or you're going to try to strip the football. So, we've gotten better, and they're buying into it.
Left side, KO.
Coach, your defense has shown the ability to get some big stops when they need to and then let some big plays go just kind of almost in the middle of nowhere. How much of it is mental, or the guys just not are missing it and trying to fill all the gaps, or is it physical and they're just not getting to the gaps?
No, I don't think it's physical. I really don't. I think it's and we've kind of evaluated what we've done. We've gone back and looked, and You can't put a finger right on it. If you could, we'd have got it fixed already. But it's been a multitude of things. It's been a linebacker not being in his gap. It's been a missed tackle here and there, which, until last week we'd been a very, very good tackling team. And we didn't miss that many, but, they're very noticeable when they go for long runs. And so we got to continue to grow. And it's got to be some, the confidence part. And that's the thing that we talked about Monday, and I'm going to hope this is wood, knock on wood. We've played our best football in the fourth quarter when it's, when it's balls to the wall. And that's what we've done. Now, what we got to do is we got to play that kind of football in the first, second quarter. And if we can do that, then, we can start looking at a good defense. We've let plays get away from us. Almost 190 yards in 4 plays. And you've heard me say this before. If you're talking about 4 plays, you probably got beat. We were fortunate enough that we made enough plays to win, but you can't play defense in this league and give up 190 yards on 4 plays.
Go to the right side, Gabe, and then Aubrey.
I was going to ask you specifically about the fourth quarter. In SEC play after the third quarter, fourth quarter and overtime, 13 possessions, 3 points allowed. You got the ball on your own 28 on that one. That was going to be a field goal at best. How much of that is these guys being in incredible shape and being able to stay fresh through the course of the game, and how much of it is them buying into what you're trying to do adjustment-wise as the game goes along?
Well, I think it's a combination, but the biggest thing is, like I said, we've been able to, as hard as we played, we've been able to turn it up a notch in the fourth quarter. When it's, these guys will battle. They're not afraid. They're not afraid of that. And you know, like I said, when their backs are to the wall, we seem to play better. You know, and you know, we need to start playing that way. There's no question about it. And the adjustments hadn't been, you know, there's been some, but more credit goes to the way our players play in the fourth quarter.
We got Aubrey on the right side, and then Cease.
I'm sure there's some guys that when you sat down and watched film of your defense, you knew were going to be good players. But when did you start to notice Donovan Wilson, and when do you think that you realized that he could be a big-time impact player for you this season?
Well, we saw a little bit of that in spring practice, you know, and it was a situation coming in at spring practice. You know, a lot of guys on defense. You know, really, it was a breath of fresh air because of the change. And we're not going to talk about last year, and that's what we said. We're going to move forward. But guys got an opportunity, and we said, hey, there's going to be competition on the field. You know, nobody's going to be a starter. You know, Myles Garrett, you're going to have to earn your position just like everybody else. And you know, he's taking that challenge, but I knew he would anyway. I mean, I mean, you kidding me? You know, but the point is that, you know, he saw that opportunity, and when there's hope and you see it, then all of a sudden things change for you. And you know, he's done an incredible job, and like I said, he's bought into what we've asked him to do, and it's the results have shown.
Left side, Cease.
John, I wonder, crossing paths with Will Muschamp and Camp's Clinics, you have that kind of relationship with him, and what makes him such a good defensive coordinator?
Well, I think the biggest thing, you know, Will's intensity and certainly his knowledge. He has tremendous knowledge. I've had an opportunity to, you know, there's been years where we don't play each other and, you know, share information and talk, you know, not on a daily basis or not on a weekly basis or anything like that, but I've always been impressed with Will, you know, for as long as I can remember. You know, his intensity and his knowledge of the game. You know, you put those two together and you see the end result, and he's done a tremendous job. I've got great respect not only for what he does, but how he does it.
Staying in the back, Daryl.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about their freshman quarterback, Sean White, and the problems that he might present you, and just kind of how he's matured throughout the season?
Well, you know, you got to be very impressed. You know, he's a guy that's been able to handle that offense. You know, when you look at him by stature, you may say, hey, he may be a little bit undersized for as much as they want to run the quarterback, but he's done a great job, and certainly has a tremendous arm. You know, I think that's a big plus for him, and then, you know, with the multitude of things they do, you know, for him to be able to grasp all those concepts and put it all together. And I think, you know, since he's been in there and been their starting quarterback, I think that's why you've seen him improve week to week that he's played.
Seated in the back, Sam.
Having gone up against him a few times, what's it like going up against a Gus Malzahn offense?
Well, it's all about discipline, you know. You know, and you know, they do a lot of job, but ultimately they want to run the football right at you, and whether it's quarterback power, whether it's basically, you know, power from the spread look, but they're going to run the football at you. They want to play physical, and then when they get you in situations, they use a lot of motion, you know, to try to destroy your eye discipline, particularly with linebackers. So, you know, those guys have to be disciplined. They have to know, you know, where their keys are. They can't take their eyes off of them. If you do, then you're going to give up big plays because of the things that they like to do. Yeah, it's power football, but they got a lot of other things that go along with it.
Anything else for Coach Chavis? All right.
Thank you
For your time.
Thank you.